logo seems to have disappeared on our interwebs, so it happens. So, how's the sound coming through? I hope it's coming through pretty good. I think it's just going to be me this time.
To smell unique. To smell
We got
confident.
ads. We got ads.
To smell
No.
amazing. You got something.
Pause. They.
Save money, right?
Nope. It's not how ads work. We play ads and then somebody else makes the money. That's how that works. Alright, folks. This is Word Art Online, the Writers Hangout for September 26th. And we are coming at you live from the Word Art Online Studios, also formerly known as the Test Reactor Studios. Maybe known that again sometime soon. So, what are we going to talk about? It's just me today. I don't know when Matt and Ben will be making their triumphant return to Word Art Online, but I hope sometime soon. Ben has been going through some stuff. I have been going through some stuff. Matt's been going through some stuff. And writing has kind of been taking a back burner. So, it is what it is. And we definitely want to jump right into what we're planning on talking about today, which I don't really know. So, NaNoWriMo is 2 months away. Let's see, September, October, November, yeah. So technically, like a little over a month and a week away. I was kind of self-challenged by the fine folks over at Harsh Realities to do well. Okay, what happened? Let's be honest. I need to write more. There's a lot of stuff going on, and writing has always been one of those things that kind of comforts the internals and I kind of got to a point where it's like, I just need to force myself to do it. The Word Art Online podcast or group hangout, whatever it was, or whatever it will be, was kind of our way of encouraging ourselves and encouraging others, and unfortunately we just kind of got behind with everything going on. So I want to do a big shout out to everybody who stuck with us for the last 52 some episodes, and let me tweet out here real quick that we are live. In fact, that we are live, so I can show the entire world that I am flying solo. And much love goes out to, like I said, much love goes out to those who stuck through with us, Lunar and Asia and a lot of other things, a lot of other people. The laughter you'll hear in the background is my roommate. He's kind of a crazy person, that is. He got stuck. So, yeah. What have y'all been up to? The chat's just so lively right now. But, anyway, okay. So, play. Did that go through? A new tweet. Alright. Sorry about that. Okay. So, hi, Lunar. It's probably just going to be me tonight, because the other guys are busy and doing life stuff. Our screen is glitching there like crazy because I did something. So I hope the sound is okay. As I was talking about a little bit ago, I have been challenged by kind of self-challenged in the month of October for 30 days of creative writing. One of the things that, and I shared this with a couple people this morning, and see if I can pull it up here. It's the Art of Harsh is where I originally got it from, and he's doing a challenge called Drawloween. That's DRAWLLOWEEN. And it's a prompt list of like pictures of the day, kind of to inspire his writing, inspire his drawing and his creative talents. Starting with the first is Return of the Dead, Return from the Dead. 2 is Summon Day. 3 is Tombstone. Let me share the link of it in the chat box, and this will also be in the show notes. Basically, what I plan on doing is, when I saw this, I'm like, you're kind of challenging me to write adventures with these as the theme, and kind of get a warm up for Nano, which is in November. So I asked Lunar to be a part of it, and I'm going to ask a couple other people to be a part of it, and we want to ask you guys to be a part of it too. Take the 30 days. It doesn't have to be these prompts. Just take 30 days, and every day is a new theme. Put yourself a random word generator, and random theme generator, random story generator, whatever it is, and be creative for that day. I'm going to do for myself 1,000 words. 1,000 to 1,500 is my ultimate goal, but if I get 1,000 words a day in, that's a lot of adventures. Especially, there's 30 days, and each of them are a different day, so it'll be or different theme. So with 31 adventures, maybe they'll be tied together, maybe they won't. Your story doesn't have to be tied together. It could be, can you write a 2,000 word story on deep sea denizens? Maybe you get inspired by the cheering section at your local school sporting event that all of a sudden the ground starts boiling up and a gush of water, and these creatures come out of it and start wandering around the gym and like crazy people, and they're like, hey, we want to play basketball, and the other team's like, well, sure, come on over, we'll play basketball. And then you have a really weird game of basketball with sea creatures. Who knows? That's how random I am. That's it'd be an interesting story. Except everybody would be mad because it came up out of the middle of the floor, which the middle of the floor would be the gym floor, and the gym floor would be ruined. But then somehow it's not. The logic is there, but it's flawed. Can you come up with, there's 2,000 words based on that prompt? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Friday is one of them, which I think that'll be interesting. Uh-oh, I got ads. Sorry. I'm loading Xbox. I'm loading the Xbox up with my pretty face, and I just so that way I can make sure everything's going cool. Yeah. So I don't really know at what point the rest of our crew is going to come back. It might just end up being me for a while. What I've been doing lately, I've been finalizing something important with me and my son. I found out. Well, not a lot of family know this, and I'm sorry if you guys don't know, and this is like a whoa. But my son was diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and so he's been getting the help that he needs. I've been getting the help that I need to help him, and it's been rough. But Malachi is doing really good, and he's learning a lot, and he's growing a lot, especially in his faith, which I'm absolutely excited for. Just seeing him grow in his faith and in his creativity. His teachers say that he's very much a creative sort, and that he is, once he figures out that creative outlet, I know it's just gonna change his world, and he's gonna be super cool about all of it. That when I discovered mine when I was in 5th or 6th grade, about writing stories and writing adventures and stuff like that, and it really helped me to get through high school with depression and anxiety stuff that I didn't know was there. Mom didn't know that it was there. Dad didn't know it was there, and I want to make sure that Malachi's got all the resources that he needs. Captain Mal, as I call him. But what else I've been working on? Elfwood is nearing completion, which I'm really excited about. That will be released to the world in sometime next couple of months. I'm not entirely sure when, but that should be done. Promised Sands will be out, which is great for the Harsh Realities guys. And what else have I been working on? I've been working on the script and eventual podcast that I will release sometime starting next year, called Have Jeep Will Travel, which is a kind of a take on my life as it is right now. And if anybody has read the series or listened to the audiobook or audio version of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, it's kind of along those lines, where I talk a little bit about Jeeps, I talk a little bit about the travel and the destination that I'm at, and then I talk about where I am in life and, you know, the road that I've gotten here, some of the thoughts and ideas that have come about it. But the big key element to it is it's going to be a travel log of Nebraska. So I've got tons of these little magazines coming in, the Visit Nebraska travel magazines, and I've got one from Pioneer Village and a bunch of travel deals for the state of Nebraska. And basically I'll go one episode, they'll only be about 15-20 minutes long until I get enough momentum to try to get more, and maybe do a YouTube series based on it, because I've been getting into the jeeping lifestyle and the overlanding lifestyle, and or I want to. And that's basically, you're going camping. Sometimes you go off-roading. Sometimes you get together with other 4x4 enthusiasts and you play catch kind of thing. You basically go where the road leads. And I've always thought that the road for me was a sailing ship, kind of that analogy where on the horizon, and keep your sails full and head towards the horizon. And I think that does fit. But here recently I've just noticed that, you know, while the ocean analogy is nice, there's kind of a closer fitting analogy, and that's the open trail, the open road, whether it's a smooth highway or a rocky, old, worn down trail that hasn't seen wheels since since the wagon era. I want to visit the ghost towns in Nebraska. I want to visit the little abandoned shops and all those little hidden secrets that make Nebraska Nebraska. And my hope is I can not only tell a story of my life and where I'm at and where I'm going and stuff like that, but I can show the world what Nebraska is and why, in my mind, it is God's country. I love Nebraska, and I really just want to show it off and see where it goes. There's some things I want to get off my chest. There's some things that are going to be very difficult to talk about through the course of the podcast. I've already recorded a couple of them in secret, and I got more that I gotta deal out. But it's a very strong look into the heart, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with it. I've also been working on Escape from the Con, which is a RPG setting that should be out. I'm hoping I'm going to do a panel of it at Anime NebraskaCon in November 10th, 11th, and 12th, I believe it is, where we're going to be talking a little bit about the survival. The group is trying to survive inside a hotel convention thing that a anime convention is. We got a chat in here, and there is a delay between chat and talking, so if I go back on subjects, it's not because my mind is lost. It might be that too, but it's mostly because chat gets caught up and I get a response. Matthew Nordin, one of our co-hosts, says Nebraska City is a great place to visit for bookish greatness, and I completely agree. I've driven out to Nebraska City a couple of times when Mal has been with his mother on her weekends, and it's an absolute fantastic city. I do want to go down to the Arbor Day celebration they've got down there at some point. I've never been. A lot of these places, I drove back last Monday, so a week ago yesterday. We went to. That's okay, Matt. We'll welcome you back with open arms, and you take your time to take care of you, and I'll take care of the podcast or the hangout until you guys figure things out and we get things back. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a face to face. But Malachi and I went to the Nebraska Hastings, the museum and planetarium in Hastings, and it was an absolute fun trip. Malachi loved it. He's only 6, so he didn't really catch up with everything that was there to explore, or to experience. I think he absorbed a lot of it. I think there are things that happened and things that he experienced that I think he picked up on, and I know 5-6 years down the road when he actually understands the history behind stuff or has an interest in that, I think he'll understand a little bit more about the history that's there and the amount of respect that we have there, and just to be able to experience that with him. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go to the planetarium section of it because they were closed. They only run planetarium shows for students, like schools and stuff like that, for field trips and stuff like that, Monday and Tuesdays. So Wednesday through Sunday, you can go to the planetarium and see the stars, and which is why we went. But we did get to see a show in the IMAX called Birds, on the Wings of Birds or something, and Malachi got a kick out of that, seeing the birds. And there was a lot of I was a little nervous with some of the content because some of the birds were talking, like, we're definitely talking food chain. There was a lot of food chain education. Birds eat fish, and sometimes bears eat birds. Didn't know that. Found that out. Very graphic. Malachi loved it, so okay. But it was funny. I was watching that couple of them scenes where where they're diving after the fish and they're eating the fish. You got the big eagle, claw, big talons inside the trout, and he's and I look over at Malachi. He's got a big old grin on his face. I'm like, okay, yeah, he had a blast. He said his favorite part was the eagles, and he asked me what my favorite part was of the museum and stuff, and I said, buddy, it's hanging out with you. And he's like, Dad, that's not the favorite part. Like, yeah, it's my favorite part, is being here with you. And that was really fun. But on our way back home, according to the map, it said that we were only a few miles away from Highway 6. And I know Highway 6 goes straight into Lincoln. And we didn't have anything else to do. Malachi was off of school for the day for teacher in service or something like that. And we decided we were going to try doing something different. And so we drove Highway 6 home. And being able to see that and experience that, see the different side of Nebraska that you don't normally see. Normally we just get on we go I-80 straight into Lincoln, and there's some scenic stuff there, but not really. It's not different. It's modernized. It's if you stop at the rest areas, and I do plan on doing a series on where I go to the rest areas and I show those off. I may do a blog about it, because that might be kind of fun. I might have to, just because there's a lot of content that I'm going to put into this thing, and I've had a couple people say that I should put it into a book, and then re-travel to Nebraska, giving the book away or selling the book. Kind of like what somebody did with their book tour. For those of you that are curious, we have a published author. Ta-da! This is one of his books. Get the light to reflect. Musing of a Northern Poet. One of my favorite books. Because my brother Matt, we're really proud of him, and things that he's done, and with his writing, and the direction that his life is going. I mean, we don't talk as much as we should because just life gets busy, but just seeing what him and his wife are doing, and some of the changes that are coming up for them, and it's great. It's fantastic. Ben is going through his own changes. I'm still trying to encourage him. For those of you that don't know, and Ben, I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but Ben lost his parents in a motorcycle accident a few months back in western Nebraska. The details, not mine to give away, but he lost a mother and a father, his mom and dad, and aunt and uncle, I believe. Just quick, they were gone. And really kind of makes you take a step back and respect, understand the ebb and flow of life, and how there's a lot of things that we just don't control. And every day my heart reaches out to Ben and what he's going through, and I'm glad that I can be a part of his friendship, and to be able to support him, support Matt and his endeavors, and Lunar in her endeavors with school and college classes. And we've got such a great fan base with the Word Art Online group early on, and I know this is going to turn into something bigger. It's just a matter of being able to get on here every day, every week, and encourage you guys to write, encourage more people to write, and just be real. When Matt and I started this last year, about this time, we decided, we were just trying to encourage each other to write, and we figured just make it public. And we had structure, we had, okay, this is what this kind of writing is, this is this story prompt, this is this, stuff, and it drew a couple people in, but it's a struggle to try to figure out what's popular, and is Twitch the right platform for what we want to do, because Twitch is more a gaming thing. We had the joke about all of us getting on Diablo and just playing Diablo and talking writing and story elements and stuff like that. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I'd like to get on here at least once a week, maybe for a half-hour time frame, and just talk. Hey, this is where we're at. This is what we're writing. This is the projects that we've got going on. Matt just announced. Matt's got another book published coming this spring. He's hoping. So Elfwood's coming out. I'd like to help out with that. But good God, I don't like that double chin. Ugh. Sorry, just noticed myself. Pretty face, ugly chin. I look like that dude off of Star Wars with what was his name? In the bar, the second Star Wars. What was the guy's name? Star Wars fan, the dude with the 4 arms. He owned the bar, and he told Obi-Wan where the dart came from. I do have a doctor's scarf somewhere. I could do this. This is what my friend Brooke got me for from the anime convention in Colorado. As you can see, wrong way, see not, and then ta-da! Oops, it's sideways. That thing. So. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I should do a cribs tour of the house. Here we have the bedroom. Here we have the kitchen. Here, Dex, that's what's his name. Thank you. Yeah, things have been going pretty good. Dex or Dax. Yeah, I think it's Dex. I'm pretty sure it was Dex. But yeah, I always liked that character. I dug that character. He was pretty cool. Just that friendly barkeep kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know where Word Art Online is going to go. I think we're still going to keep the YouTube thing up. I think we're still going to do the Tuesday night thing. I really like being here and doing the podcasting thing. I want to do more of it. I would love. I've been listening to. Of course, I listen to Dave Ramsey a lot every day, and Ken Coleman is another guy that I started listening to here just a few days ago because he started a new podcast called the Ken Coleman Show, and he talks about finding what you're good at and finding that next step, making Mondays more bearable, or making Mondays great again. If you go to work, Sundays, you run into this brick wall of, oh dear Lord, I have to go back to work on Monday. It's horrible. This isn't what I was designed to do. This isn't what I'm passionate about. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I'm born to do. And don't get me wrong, I love my job. I love where I work. I love the people there. I love the opportunities that I've been given. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that, one, I can provide for my family. And right now it pays the bills. And that's good. Beyond that, not really sure what's in store. I just know I'm not in a position where I can do what I was born to do. And I'm getting there with the writing, with the harsh realities, with the Elfwood stuff. If I can do more adventure writing, stuff like that, I think that'd be great. I'd like to get into do the podcasting thing more often. I think the podcast next year is going to be a really good thing, especially for Nebraska tourism. If I can do some RPG adventures via podcast, Gamers Connect might be going away. Yeah, shocker there. How is Harsh going, by the way? Harsh Realities is going great. They are having I mentioned this earlier, I think it was before you showed up, they are doing a Drawloween. This is what the Art of Harsh is Scott Harshberger from Harsh Realities, and he's doing a Drawloween, so you draw a item based on that day. And I thought, hey, this is a good challenge for me to be able to write for 30 days and on that topic. So, day one, it's going to be Return from the Dead. And so I'm going to challenge myself to about 1,000 words a day based on that topic. But Elfwood should be done towards the end of, we hope, October. It was supposed to be released in October, but some stuff came up and things changed. And, that happens. That's life. And hopefully we can get it done by November, December. And then I can start, once it's released, then I start rolling out adventures about once a month. And that's the goal, is to be able to show off, once a month I have an adventure that gets released, or they have an adventure. They've got a couple of them in reserve. And we expand that world. And then Escape from the Con should be out, ready for beta. I'm hoping by spring. I'm going to be running a panel of it at Anime Nebrascon. Speaking of Anime Nebrascon, if you are going to Anime Nebrascon, I am going to be busy. Why? Because I have given myself like 5 or 6 panels that I'm going to do. The panels include a WAOCast panel, where basically I'm just going to talk podcasting, our experiences with the Writers Hangout, and things I would do better, things that I may not do, stuff like that. Another panel is Escape from the Con. Another panel is the RPG Adventure Improv. The third or the fourth, I believe, is the top 10 anime themed board games, and I believe the final one is top 10 space themed board games. So because the theme for Animated BrassCon is to the stars. So if you've got a Starfleet uniform or a Star Wars uniform, feel free to don that outfit and come check us out. If you don't see me at a panel, I'm in the tabletop game room along with my roommate and several other people. Yes, I will be busy, especially because the location of said con, the game room is in the hotel across the street. And I'm thinking most of the panels that I'm going to be running are across the street at the RL Prime. So that's going to be interesting. No 50 Shades of Nerd. No. 50 Nerds of Grey. That was horrible. I stepped so far out of my comfort zone on that one that it's not going to be... It was horrible. Oh! I am doing... Hang on. This. And... Nope. Okay. I got 2 panels. One panel is based on this. Which is... Oops. There we go. We didn't play test this at all. Where I will be running... demos of this. The other panel, I don't have the item here. I really need to find those before the con. But it is based on Bad Decisions, which is it's a card game similar to Cards Against Humanities, but better, in my opinion. And there is going to be prizes. I have used some of my Indie Game Alliance loot points to get extra copies of the game. So once the game is, whoever wins the panel, and if we get enough people in on it, I'll do either a random drawing or hand out the game for free, which I think will be a big hit. So, yeah, what else? Animated BrassCon is going to be busy. And then there is, if I can do it, if everything finalizes by New Year's, there is a big my ex gets my kid over Christmas and New Year's. It just falls on her visitation, and so that's going to be quite a long time when I pretty much don't have kiddo, and I can leave the state if I want to. So I'm kind of leaning towards going to a Jeep meetup. For those of you that don't know, I'm big into Jeeps. I like Jeeps. Beep beep, I'm a Jeep. And there's a big deal down at Tuttle Creek with the Nebraska Jeep Club going down there. So I might go down to that. I might not. I don't know. I'm still trying to save money and knock this debt out so I can actually afford my own Jeep. And that's one thing that we want to explore on this podcast, and I think being real with people will be beneficial. Where we talk, hey, one of us just released a book, and maybe they've only made like $5 off of it. The other person, Ben releases a memoir of everything going on, and he makes it on Oprah Winfrey's top New York Times best-selling books about Asgard. I don't know what they call it nowadays. Why Oprah's in Asgard, we don't know, but whatever. But yeah, we just want to encourage people and show that journey of real. So yeah, I figure we'll still go about the hour mark. We'll keep going the 9 o'clock. I'm going to try to keep going at 9 o'clock. The only reason why I didn't today was because I was looking for a mug that I can't find my token metal tankard that I used for a long time because I thought, hey, I want to drink. I might get thirsty. And I want to drink out of my metal stein. And I can't find it. So it is what it is. Probably in here somewhere. What else? I say way too much. Hey, if you guys haven't seen it, a new story that's come out, some of a new writing series ish. It's got heartfelt stories in it. It's not necessarily directly writing related, but it's Mike Rowe's. I can't think of what it's called. Mike Rowe's Returning the Favor. And what it is basically Mike Rowe. He's a big proponent in the trade skills gap that's happening across the country. You got a lot of these kids that are going to school for liberal arts degrees and in philosophy or a master's in European literature. And what they're not understanding is that you have $120,000 student loan debt, and the last person is I like that. Maybe your subconscious is trying to meditate. I like that. But basically, kids are going to school with $120,000 worth of student loan debt, and they're getting out with a degree that has. The last person that got a really good paying job with that degree was their professor. If you're lucky, you write a book, you get that sold, make your millions, and that's it. But meanwhile, you get out into that field. These kids get out in that field, or even adults, they get out in that field and they realize it's not what they're designed for. It's not what's inside them to do right. And Mike Rowe is big in, don't give these kids quit pushing these kids for a 4-year degree when some of them are designed for only a 2-year. If they're going after a 4-year, that's fine. Start off with the basics. Get yourself something that you can fall back on. Give yourself something that, try something new. Lunar's taking college classes. I hope you don't mind me blurting out about your personal life, but and I think that's fantastic. This young and trying college classes to see what she likes, that's fantastic. Somebody goes out and interns at a welding shop or an auto shop. I posted a picture up on Facebook today of something that happened. For those of you who don't know, that I used to own a white J10. My mom owns it now, and it's one of those things. It's like it caught on fire on me in 2004, 2005 ish, and the picture that I posted is of me working on it and tearing into it. The picture. I remember it distinctly. I was trying to tear off the air conditioning box so I could clean out and try to get closer to the engine. But I remember back on that, and I remember hating it so much. But not because I was doing it. I loved doing it. I loved tearing into it. I loved turning the wrenches. I loved working on this old Jeep, trying to breathe new life into this old truck. And I struggled with the fact that I didn't know enough, and I knew I didn't know enough. So instead of pushing through and applying myself into the unknown, I tuckered down and basically put my head down and kind of walked away from it. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know a lot of other people do that too. Maybe it's people doing it with their writing, with their books and stuff. But now looking back, it's like if I had just powered my way through that, I would have had an experience where I fixed my truck. I used all my automotive technology to fix my Jeep, and the experience of being able to have that. And now, granted, I'm trying to fight my way out of debt so I can get back into the old cars, the old Jeeps and stuff, even just a newer Jeep. But you get some of these kids that they may like electrical, they may like plumbing, plumbing is a good job. It's a good trade. But they'll never know because because their guidance counselor or some of their teachers in school said, you got to get that 4-year degree. And, it's not about working smarter. It's about working harder to get the smarts to be able to work harder, to work better, work more efficiently. Things have changed in the automotive world now that I don't know a lot of the stuff that I should to be if I wanted to go back to the automotive tech stuff. But anymore, is that really necessary for what I want to do? No. I just want to find myself I'm looking at a 2004 WJ, which is the Grand Cherokee. That era and back, I want to be able to work on those. I want to be able to take them apart and fix them up, drive them across country. One group that I would recommend you guys watching is the Alaska Overland or Overland Expeditions. They did a overland trip, big camping trip with them across Alaska or into Alaska, and then they did one down in South America that was just phenomenal to watch. But being able to do stuff like that, being able to travel and see the world and podcasts and see that is definitely where I'm being called to go, or being driven to go. Driven, beep beep. And being able to write all along that way. But one of the back to the micro thing. Sorry, I kind of tangent. One of the things that he did was he did a show, or he's doing a Facebook show called Returning the Favor, and where he and his crew they find people who are doing extraordinary things. His first one was about a wounded wounded warrior bikes or something like that, where he's the guy who runs the shop is taking in these wounded warriors, people with PTSD and stuff like that, and teaching them how to build a bike, build a motorcycle. And then, some of the guys stick around, some of them take the bike and they go across country and have fun with it. The latest one, he said, a hero's retreat. There's a guy, a veteran who lost his arm. Thanks, Matt, for stopping in. Really appreciate it. But there's a guy he's a multi-limb amputee. He lost his arms, he lost his legs, I think because of a bomb. But they built the guy, Micro will go in there and he will basically give people something back in return for. Hey, Chris. He will give something back to the people who are giving part of themselves to the community. And the Micro is just a fantastic guy. But I've been kind of itching to want to do that. There's a lot of people that want to travel and they just can't afford it, and I want to be able to do that. That's why I'm doing the whole Have Jeep Will Travel podcast next year. That'll release next year. Being able to see the world and explore it and see those places that people might not see. Let's see. So, if you have a chance to check out Micro's Returning the Favor, it's a fantastic show. But I'm hoping to be able to do that someday. If I can knock out this debt with the writing stuff, if I can knock out the debt with somehow, I don't know, it's $100 and some thousand worth of debt that I got to figure out a way to get out of. But it's like if I can get out of debt and turn around and uh-oh, I didn't lose camera. Good. Sorry, I heard a beep that my computer's something disconnected, and I was afraid it was my camera. But if I can knock out this debt and figure out that next step, I want to be able to give back. The church that I belong to, it's kind of exciting. The program that I received my Toyota from is called Because People Matter, and basically they fix up cars that need just minor work, and they fix them up and they turn around and give them to people that need them. And I love that. I love that theory, that idea of being able to use your skills, use your hand skills, and give it back to other people. And the fact that I was blessed with that. And then October 21st, we're going to do a car care clinic, and I'm going to be able to give back to that program and help others. I think that's just fun. And if I could figure out a way to do that with Jeeps. Granted, Jeeps aren't necessarily the most fuel efficient vehicles or reliable, unless you know how to work on them. Yeah. So every Tuesday we're going to be on here. Next month we're doing the Drawloween, or the Halloween challenge. 30 days, a new theme each month or each day. So keep an eye on our Twitter feed. That's at Word. I don't remember what our Twitter feed is anymore. It's been that long. Word Art Online, the number 1, is our Twitter feed, and keep an eye on that. And we'll post up the what theme it is for that day, and I'll try to do what the next theme is, and see if we can get more people involved with this. I might try to be here more often during the course of the month. Just, keep pumping, keep getting recognition for what we're running to do with Word Art Online, and that is encourage writers and just be real with people. I hope I haven't bored everybody tonight. I know it's kind of rambled a little bit, and I hope the sound quality is okay. We're coming through my little mic here, because my kid was playing with my nice mic that Chris got me. We're hopefully going to kick this off and get this better. Never know, we might have guests on. Get Lunar down here and have her be on for an episode if we can ever figure that out. And get Chris down here and talk adventures, talk RPG adventures. Get Matt back on. Matt Nordin was one of our hosts. He was on here just a few minutes ago, and it was good to see him pop in. I really appreciated that. I know Ben talked about trying to be on, but audio engineering too. Yeah, we very well might. Chris, you weren't here when I mentioned the project I have going on called next year, called Have Jeep Will Travel, and it's basically a travel log of me going. If you've seen or read the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, it's basically along those lines, where it's kind of a self-reflection story and audio thing. I don't know if it's going to be a podcast, audio drama, or just a travel log. But right now, it's me talking into the mic as I go to different sites, like the Hastings Museum, and driving down Highway 6 and Highway 30, I-80, stuff like that, and visiting different sites in Nebraska. I've been getting a bunch of books in on Nebraska tourism, and I'm hoping to just show people the little ghost towns, the little mile marker. There's 3 wooden crosses at some intersection, and even just taking a picture of it and being like, what's this guy's story? What's going on here? Now, all of them, I may not do some of those grave things because those are kind of personal, and they might bring up some negative stuff. But there's a lot of state markers that are out there. There's a lot of historic markers that are all over the state. There's towns that are just drying up because people don't live there anymore. And I think it'd be kind of fun to see them and explore them through a podcast, and eventually working up to a video cast where I can show off these things. And if I can figure out a way to make some money with it and get it to pay for itself. That's the big thing. Is whatever I do, it's got to be able to produce. It's got to be able to pay for itself. You can be the new Adam the Woo, a YouTube traveler. He ended up his blog 2 days ago after 5 years on the road. There's a couple of guys that I've been seeing the travel blog stuff, and they're kind of the ones that I've been getting my inspiration from. Like I mentioned, the Expedition Overland group. I love listening to their videos about their trips through Alaska. There's one guy that spent a few years living out of his Jeep, and he's going all over the place, traveling around and stuff. And I just don't know how that people make that work, money-wise. I mean, I guess if you have the YouTube following and you have that, maybe. I've had a couple of people suggest that if I get it popular enough, I might be able to snag a Nebraska tourism grant. But sold T-shirts and Patreon. That might be something too. And showing videos. I've thought about doing writing out my experiences with this travel log thing in a book, and maybe have 2 books where one's just the travel log. So if somebody wants to go through and see where I went to the Hastings Museum, or where I went to Carhenge, and they can just experience that, or they can get the big book, which has the entire journey in there, which is a lot of self-discovery and a lot of self-reflection. Like I said, it's right along the lines of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. That's a book that I listen to, and I'm on my 5th time listening to it. Just because it's that much, that deep of thought. I don't know if I'll ever get that deep in my stuff. I know I've been known to get pretty deep with philosophy and thoughts and stuff, and especially if people bring up my faith, because my faith is slightly different than most Christians out there. Slightly different. Yeah, it's very different. But that's a topic for a non whatever kind of hangout this is. But yeah, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Lunar, before you go to college, you should really read that book. If I had the means, I'd rent it to you. I'd figure out a way to get it to you, because it's that good. It's a little dry, and I will admit that it does kind of bring into question some faith stuff, but in a good way. And it's definitely one that I actually want to get the actual book. I've only listened to the audiobook, and sometimes you never know if some of those audiobooks are if they're clipped, or some of the words and stuff have been shifted. Kind of like if you watch something that's English, an anime that's English dubbed and English subbed, sometimes the subtitles don't match what's dubbed, because the subtitles are translating it exactly how it is usually, and the dubbed, sometimes there's words in English that don't get translated very well from Japanese or whatever language it is, and it can kind of mess with the story a little bit. There's a couple of times when I'm watching Attack on Titan, and in Japanese, mind you, because I'm too lazy to boot up Blair's English version, and sitting there watching it, it's like, whoa, okay, well, that wasn't in the English version. But eventually I'll learn Japanese, who knows. I have a tough time translating English to English. True. I speak a foreign language. I speak bad English and good English. And for those of you that are watching my diet, I'm sorry, but I needed a drink. I'm trying to cut out the pop, people. I really am. Failing miserably at it, but I'm trying. The nice thing about having a kid is I can. I'm not supposed to be drinking this. I bought this for him. Daddy, I don't want this anymore. Okay, that's fine. I will finish it. It's probably the reason why I'm as big as I am. Anyway, it is 9:59, and we've had a really good show tonight. I hope that I'll have a little bit more structure next week. I think if I'm just going off that I'm going to be flying solo for a while, and hopefully we'll get Matt back on and Ben back on at some point. But this is kind of a dry run to see if I can do it myself, get more experience with it. I do plan on doing a couple of my own podcasts. As I mentioned before, Gamers Connect might be going away. I hate seeing it go, but it's just not. I lost the drive to try to push it into something that where I wanted it to go. I wanted it to be a game review site and kind of IGN for board games, and it could have been if I had pushed for it, but now it's just kind of meh. And hardly anybody but me and Blair talk on it. We don't, we post up there once in a while, but truthfully, you can get that information anywhere. I should. I want to do more writing stuff, more writing exercises, and encouraging the writers and stuff that are out there. I think getting me more skills when it comes to the writing and the podcasting stuff. Just see where it all goes. Ken Coleman, the guy I was talking about earlier, he's got a show called the Ken Coleman Show, and he talks about picture yourself in 10 years. What do you want to see yourself in 10 years? What do you want to be doing? Do you want to have that novel published? Do you want to be married? Do you want to be? Do you want to have a movie at a film festival? Do you want your second game published? Do you want? What is it that you want to see in 10 years? A lot of it's career related. A lot of the answers that he gets are career related. Well, I'd like to be doing this. For me, I'd like to be out of debt. Plain and simple, I'd just like to be out of debt. $100,000+ done and gone. You already are amazing, so be even more amazing. I want to be out of debt. I want to be doing the podcasting stuff. I want to be traveling. I want to be taking my kid to see things that normal people wouldn't do. I want to see the world, because the hurt that I've been seeing the past few years since this thing started getting destroyed and stuff, and there's got to be more to life, and I know there is. There's got to be more to life than being held back by my debt. There's got to be more to life than being held back by what ifs and getting to the end of my days. And right now, if everything were to end, I'd have a lot of I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done this better, and I want to get to the end of my days sitting there in the old folks' home going, I shouldn't have done that. Enjoy life. That's where I want to be in 10 years. Kiddo will be 16, starting to learn to drive, probably starting to date, which I told him he can't date till he's 25 because of those eyes. He's got beautiful, very handsome, bluish gray eyes that everybody that sees his eyes it's so pretty. He's such a handsome boy, and he's polite. He's got dad's good looks underneath all the excess stuff. I want to see myself as the guy that I see on the inside, not thing on the outside. That's right now. I want Elfwood to be published. I want I don't know. I want Escape from the Con done. Actually say that, hey, I've gone through the process of doing a Kickstarter. Not sure what for, but I've done a Kickstarter. And then I realized, hey, there's better ways to do Kickstarter. They make money than Kickstarter. But I don't know if WAOCast will be here in 10 years. I really don't. I know that I'll be here. I know that it might change 100 times over between now and 10 years. We might get new hosts. We might get new locations. We might get a full-fledged professional studio. Or we might be doing WAOCast out of my Jeep that I have at 10 years. Because I don't have a Jeep right now. The only Jeep that I've got it fits on the palm of my hand because it is a toy. It's a little yellow Jeep that I picked up because I wanted to have a Jeep to be able to do the Have Jeep Will Travel, and I felt guilty about just saying that it's called Have Jeep Will Travel, and I don't have a Jeep. So I thought, well, heck, I'll just buy a toy and take pictures of it around different areas, and it's been a fun little beep beep in the little yellow Jeep. Exactly. It's, I don't know. I want to see Malachi grow up, not afraid, not alone. I know he is. I should make a little cutout or so. I should. But I know Malachi's going through a lot, and I want to make sure that I'm here for him. And I'm tired of working for, I work for that paycheck on Friday, and I want to get to a point where it's like, that doesn't matter. If it pays the bills, yes, that matters. That does matter. But through my talents, through writing, through whatever talents that I've got, whatever challenges that are ahead of me, I want to make sure that kiddo's taken care of, and I can spend as much time as I need to with him, and I want to. I just now noticed, and this is going to annoy me to heck, over my shoulder is that game. It's called Above and Below. It's upside down. Hang on. By the way, Chris, it's still on my shelf. It gets played quite a bit. Yep. Let me fix this. But for those of you that don't know, Chris is the mastermind behind that game. Nope, that game. And still fun to play. Great to pick up. The only reason why it's on my shelf and not in my bag like it was is you can see that it has been worn. Where's the camera? There it is. The box has started to wear out, and I couldn't find a good sleeve solution for it, because when you're playing it, you have the pile of cards, and when you're squishing them around, a couple of the sleeves that I had would just tear right through the cards. So I may have to find a better solution for that. It's a fun game. But anyway, I need to send you the new prototype. Yeah, I'm willing to do prototypes. I got a couple of prototypes. This there is the prototype for Punch It Entertainment's Pompeii. And there is a prototype I can't talk about from Victory Point Games. Yeah, I love gaming. That's the thing. I love gaming. If I could put Gamers Connect as a review podcast, 20 minutes, I talk about a game, done, I think it'd be cool. But, I got Clank. I got code names that I picked up when with Lunar and we had the Anime NebraskaCon game day game thing. Level 99 games. Ginger Dead House, which is technically not mine. Kitsune Foxes and Fools, that'll make an appearance at Con. Brass Empire. Starving Artists, fantastic game. Firefly Flux. And Then They Held Hands. I have yet to find somebody that will play And Then They Held Hands. It is a game. It is an abstract game. I love the art. Doo-doo. But it's very much a couples game. It is. You play down cards that are that tell a certain kind of mood, and then the other player is supposed to guess on which direction you're going to go, and then you find that synergy to come together in the middle. Gamers. Maybe I could do a writer based game. I do have there's a couple of writer games out there. One of my personal favorites is this. If you like Scrabble, then this game is for you. And I've got the Kickstarter coming sometime soon called Hardback. And it's a deck builder. So you lay out the cards and come up with creative ideas. But I've thought about doing adding the podcast or adding the gaming thing, because in our Test Reactor podcast, which got a big shout out today, and I'll get back to that in a sec, but our Test Reactor podcast, still to this day, our best session or our best episode was when we played Brains live, when we played Brains on the air. And I think it was because we were having fun with it. There wasn't a lot of stuff to it. To that episode, there wasn't a lot of fluff. It was, this is what we're talking about. We ran into it, and if maybe Gamers Connect will morph into that. Maybe it'll be gamers connecting to gamers is what the tagline was going to be. But I suppose it is 10:12. I have overran this a lot. I don't know if this will go up to our YouTubes. I might not. I don't know. It's not really directly writing related, but then again, some of these kind of episodes have a knack of gaining the viral traction and bringing out the trolls. But I mentioned Test Reactor got a huge shout out. So I listened to a podcast on iTunes called Jeep Talk Show, and they talk Jeeps all the time, obviously. And a few weeks ago, or last week, I commented on a review. I gave them a 4-star review, and I said, "Great podcast, love the podcast. This would be a 5-star review if you guys talked more about the FSJs." And then I posted in there that I'm just kidding. You guys deserve 5 stars. Just giving you a 4 stars for just giggles. I was listening to the podcast today, and for a good 5-10 minutes, they were talking about that review. And my username on iTunes is the Shadowfix stuff, that thing right there. But they, it says in parentheses, it says test reactor, because at the time that's what we were trying to promote, and that's funny. Yeah, I like the any of the 4x4 podcast group is really good, but the Jeep Talk Show is really fantastic, and I'd love to get to that point. Being able to podcast where it's like, hey, we're talking writing, where are you doing today? A lot of it, I think, what we run into here at WAOCast is the fact that I'm not a published writer. Ben is, but he's only self-published. Matt is really the only one that's really professionally published until Elfwood gets out. Then Elfwood, I'll be published, and then we'll try to get Ben. Technically, when Elfwood's done, all three of us will get recognition, because Matt wrote some poems for Elfwood, and Ben wrote some characters, some creatures and stuff, some creatures for us. So, anywho, on that note, I will bid you all a fond good night and happy writing. May your pages ever be filled with good luck and glory and creative ideas. And we will definitely see you guys next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch. And follow us on the Twitter stuff at Word Art Online, the number 1 dot. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm rambling. Bye.